A note to the reader. Are you an aspiring author who would like to know how to publish a book? Well, you've come to the right place. Whether it's a paperback or ebook, this is the only book you would need to make your dream of writing a book come true. Writing a good book, compared to a bad one, involves one thing: work. No matter how you approach it, a great deal of time and commitment is required. Nevertheless, seeing a book through to completion need not be a grueling task. If you approach the process with a thought-out plan, it can actually be enjoyable. There are many reasons that people would like to write a book. What's yours? Defining why you would like to write a book is important on several levels. First, it helps you figure out how dedicated you will be to completing your writing project. Your writing project can be a short-term or a long-term project. Many aspiring authors have started writing a book but were sidetracked because of unethical people who have led them down the wrong path in the publishing industry. This book will help you get back on track and make your dream of writing a book come true. This book contains all the ins and outs of the writing and publishing industry. It was written for anyone who needs to know how the book industry works. It was also written for fiction and nonfiction writers with a book concept who need to know next steps. It was also written for writers with finished manuscripts who are starting to consider submitting to editors and agents, writers who are currently submitting their work and not getting the responses they hope for, and previously published authors who have been out of the game and need a refresher for the digital era. Writing, as opposed to publishing, requires almost no financial or physical resources. A pen, paper, and effort are all that has been required for hundreds of years. Whether you are allowing a traditional publisher to produce your book or you're striking out on your own to self-publish, becoming an author can be a rewarding experience if you allow it to be. Good luck. Chapter 3, Top Publishing Avenues. Traditional publishers versus self-publishers. There has been a great deal of discussion and controversy over the question, is traditional publishing dying? For those who are not aware of the conversation or the meaning of the question, I will explain. Many different people have been saying that the large publishing houses will soon be finished or reduced to rubble and that the self-publishers will take over. The reason self-publishing has seen a rise in popularity is due to the ease of entry and the guaranteed release. There is usually not very much shopping around of the manuscript. It is submitted and it is later released in book form. It is also easier to self-publish, and people stand a better chance of getting more of the profits per sale of each book sold. Then I guess you ask yourself, why don't everyone self-publish? Easy, marketing, and quality. The early self-publishers have created a stigma that we all are now forced to live with. Self-published work is usually not of good quality. It is so bad, in fact, that even readers have become weary of self-published works. Marketing is also another consideration. The traditional publishers have the money and connections to get the classy reviews and put up the television commercials during prime time. Self-publishers rarely have that opportunity unless they are very, very good or have already been established in the publishing industry prior to self-publishing. When it comes to buying a self-published book, check out the writer's credentials and website. Look at the book cover. Do any of these look sloppy? Do they look professional? All of these questions can be placed in lieu of, should I buy it? If you still are curious, try to get an electronic version of the book. If you hate it, then you will feel better for spending less on it than the hardcover or paperback version. On the other hand, if you like self-published authors, then tell other people about them. The best advertising is word-of-mouth advertising, and self-published authors who actually produce quality work should be spread to your friends, family, and co-workers. They do not have the big advertising dollars of the major players, so you could count it as a form of charity as well. On the other hand, if the author is terribly bad, then you can feel free to say so. It's a two-edged sword. After all, the small guys should be subject to the same rules as the big boys. The following are 8 avenues to publish a book.